Very special episode today, episode 20. I'm with my man, Glen Hung.
What's good, my boy? I'm finally here, man. It's a dream come true, honestly. I did a bit of working in Ottawa, so I interned in a member of parliament's office.
You're a political science student. Maybe some people might be confused with because you're walking around with Rotman merch all the time.
Hey, it's free. You have to charge me with random ass money, so like I gotta make it back somehow. And I figured like UTSU is not doing a really good job. Getting involved with UTSU is also like really difficult because like it's only a certain type of person to get into these rules. People just vote on you based on your name, right? Oh yeah, this guy, I know him, right? I said, oh yeah, Jack.
That's the thing though, is that I bet you benefited from that a lot too. I know Glenn. We vote for Glenn. You worked with the Liberal Party.
Yes, I did.
What was that like? You got a picture with the man himself, JT. Where was that? How do you feel about protests, whether they're at U of T or just in general?
Respectfully, right? U of T cares about its reputation a lot. They love to see their ranking on an international stage.
How do you feel about corruption in politics? Let's talk about first year. First year, Glen Hung. This guy came in. He was loud.
I was loud. I'm never going to be that guy again.
What do you say about the statement that someone who has a lot of friends probably has none at all? You know a lot of people. Do you have like a tight-knit group that you hang out with more than like the rest?
Oh, 100%. Alexander Kildorf, Daniel Du, Daphne Shannon, all the homies from the trenches. I'm saying like you have to have a good friend group.
You're an extroverted guy. A lot of introverts at U of T. What would be your number one tip for being more extroverted?
Never change yourself to be someone who you wish to be.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the VoV podcast, Voices of Vic. Very special episode today, episode 20. Hit a milestone here. I'm with my man, Glen Hung. What's going on?
What's good, my boy? Yes, sir.
Thanks for coming on.
No worries, sir. It's an honor.
It's a long time coming.
I know. It's been a while. I know seeing you do our podcast and me, I'm trying to fit in, but I couldn't do it. But you know, I'm finally here, man. It's a dream come true, honestly.
Yeah, for sure.
Real honored.
Appreciate it, bro. You know, you're a busy man. You know, I understand couldn't get you on in first year, but you're here now.
Exactly. I got to catch up, man. I got to catch up.
How was your summer?
Summer's pretty good for me, honestly. Yeah. I've been working, as you can know. I did a bit of working in Ottawa, so I interned in a member of parliament's office, and now he became a federal minister because he's kind of cabinet, which is pretty fun.
That's awesome.
Getting the connections, everything. Overall, it's pretty good. It's kind of transition, right? Because Back I was in high school, summer was much more different, right? You hang out with like friends, going out, etc. Where like university summers are like, it can be more exciting, but also at the same time, you have much fun in the first year. All of your friends come from like all around the world, but all of a sudden they disappear, right? So I think that like and you gotta wait for them to come back, and I text them, etc. And just sitting at home playing games or whatever.
Yeah.
It's a bit of a strange transitions. First time experiencing it, so you know what. I like it, right? I like it. Working, balancing times out, going out.
You're a political science student.
I am.
You are. And not Rotman.
Rotman.
Maybe some people might be confused with because you're walking around with Rotman merch all the time.
Hey, it's free. Listen, man. You have to charge me with random ass money, so like I gotta make it back somehow.
Exactly. 100%. How's studying political science? How do you approach political science differently than the rest of the students in poli-sci? I feel like you're unique. You have a different approach. You not volunteered. You were with UTSU last year?
No, I was not with UTSU. So let me go back to with poli-sci, because respectfully, some of the stuff they learn currently, I already know them because I've experienced them.
Yeah.
That's a big part, right?
That's good.
Yeah, let's say if you're like working like in business, we're already working like interning like a strong enough like RBC, whatever, CIBC, etc. If you already intern with the internships, you already know what you're doing basically. You already learn what you're gonna do.
100%.
Similar as like right now in poli-sci, everything I learned right now, like more than half the items they talk about, I don't know what's up, right? They'd be like, hey, Sean Fraser, the Minister of Housing, right? They did this and did that. Right, new Minister of Housing. And I was like, oh yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, I met him like numerous times before.
100%.
Yeah,
at
so
the
like,
barbecue.
Exactly, at barbecue, exactly. At receptions, he was drinking wine. Like,
yeah.
Nah, but yeah. So like, it's kind of just like that kind of events, kind of just like, I already know what we're doing. And then last year, right? If you guys doesn't know, I'm really involved in politics. Actually, I asked you to, for endorsement support as well.
Yep.
So I was involved with art and science governance.
That's what yes. Not UTSU, arts and science.
Not UTSU.
Got it.
Because I figure ultimately, right? Because I know, like, you did an episode on all kinds of, all the money spending from tuition.
The fees, the fees at U of T.
And I figured, like, UTSU is not doing a really good job,
right?
And then, like, getting involved with UTSU is also, like, really difficult because, like, it's only a certain type of person to get into these rules. And then last
What do you
year,
mean? What do you mean? What do you mean by certain type of person?
like you gotta like know the right people basically, right? Because
Got it.
like if the voting rate is probably like 8.2% every year. I mean, like
Right.
maybe last year was higher. 'Cause
Voter turnout, yeah.
voter turnout was, like, after quarantine, etc. I may be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, but no matter what, the return is really really low to a level that like only specific people votes.
Got it.
Not every student votes. It's hard to pitch out. Let's say the debate they did, UTSU debate. Guess how many views on Facebook? Last time I checked, 82.
82?
Yeah, 82.
What the?
That's the UTSU debate. All candidates debate.
That's wild.
But right now you might get it more, especially after this recording. But
Yeah.
But I feel overall like it's hard to achieve democracy or like kind of student unions, especially like it's hard for them to actually get things done because their existence is to lobby the actual UFT governance.
Yeah, true.
UFT admins.
True.
So why don't I involve with UFT admins and governance first?
Yeah.
This is what I've been doing. Like right now I'm back. This year again, I'm on the Arts and Science Council, like Governance Council. I'm also on the Academic Appeal Committee, which is like any like appeals that might like not went through. We appeal again, so it come to us.
Yep.
And we can vote on whether like it's a legitimate appeal or not. But like I figure out like that's really fun. I actually enjoy that much more than student union.
It's interesting how, especially with politics, like voting for government officials, voting for your political leader is so twisted because it's basically a popularity contest at that point, right? It's not about really who could lead us the best. It's about who can get the most votes. That's how you win.
I know sometimes like that is definitely true. I would say, and especially student unions, student organizations. It is basically a popularity contest. It's hard to win with a good platform. So I'm gonna say. I'm not saying you cannot, because I have friends who won. Running a really, really good platform, knowing exactly what they're doing.
But there's so many other things you got to do as well. It's like a good platform isn't enough.
No, platform is just not enough. And sometimes some platform that doesn't matter if you're popular enough.
Yeah.
Right. People just vote on you based on your name, right?
Yeah.
Say, oh yeah, this guy, I know him, right? I say, oh yeah, Jack.
I mean, that's the thing though, is that I bet you benefited from that a lot too. I don't know any of the other people. I to be completely honest, I didn't really read much. I know Glenn. Glenn's a G. We vote for Glenn. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But that can be weaponized.
Exactly, yeah. It can very well be. I mean, I try to run on a good platform. I actually want to do stuff that, like, in general, it's not brought up in student unions or previous, because, to be honest, faculty members don't really care about students, right? Like, you're up in a student union, you're protesting, right? I mean, how many chances are actually going to listen?
Right.
It's hard to. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible. Like, Climate Justice UFT, right? They did a lot. They do really good job at divesting Vic.
Climate Justice?
Climate Justice UFT,
Yeah.
They're really doing a really good job at divesting Trin, Vic. That's student organizations. That's student power.
Yeah.
Right? But on a governance council, right? Like, it's just hard for students' voice to be valued.
Yep.
Numerous examples have been set, right? Like, oh yeah, we can protest, we can do that. But the results are just not shown, right? Like last year, we're trying to propose a bill, let's say, why can't we release the exams, right? Why can't we see the exams? We can see what we did wrong so we can improve from it.
That is, yeah.
Guess where that went?
Where?
Not like they didn't
do anything.
They didn't do anything.
Why do you think that is? Do you think it's too much work, or do you think they actually just don't want to show people?
It's a good question.
It's a good question.
We shall never know. Maybe one day, like,
dive deep into that. Yeah,
you got to interview a staff to know exactly what's
interview
happening.
The president of U of T.
Exactly.
Ask him what's going on.
That's the ultimate goal. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's interesting. Let's talk about your internship in the summer. You worked with the Liberal Party.
Yes, I did.
What was that like?
I feel like
How did you land that?
No, I sent emails. Hey, like, do you want to I've already pretty experience working with MPs and PPs.
Yeah.
In the member of parliament, member parliaments. I know them, like, they remain good reference. I want to expand more, right? I want to experience how it's like. And I was probably one of the youngest guy there.
Yeah.
So I was like, why are you even here, man? You're still like first year in school. Just go back.
Yeah.
Right? Go to study start. I'm saying, bro, yeah, listen. Like, I sent emails, and then, like, one office, Terry Beach's office, he's an MP in Vancouver. Their staff teams looked at my resume and say, we can like, give you experience on the Hill. Do you want to come help out? Right. And I was like, I'm really down. And then you got to do the RCMP checks, get your fingerprint, get a picture done, send to the RCMP,
That's
and they're
wild.
gonna background check you and
Yeah,
like crazy.
Yeah.
So and then he came back after a few weeks, and then that time I was in Ottawa, and then I get my parliamentary email.
Yeah.
I got my status and got my, most importantly, Hill Pass, which can give access to everywhere.
Everywhere.
Not everywhere, but most of the places.
Like what is it? What does that do? The Hill Pass. What does it do?
So like it's security, right? Like if you ever visit Ottawa, if you ever visit Parliament, it's that in every office there's a visitor center, right? That's only open to the visitors. There's so much more.
Yeah.
Right. Beyond that, it's only accessible towards staffs or security.
Got it.
Or MPs themselves, or Prime Minister. Can't just walk around. But
very interesting.
Yeah.
You got a picture with the man himself, JT.
Exactly. Yeah.
Where was that?
It was actually at his cottage, like his official Prime Minister home.
Okay. How did you end up there?
It was an annual garden party, is what it's called. So like it's an event with all staffs and MPs and ministers, and whatever.
Yeah. Interns.
Every year interns,
Yeah.
staffs, everybody. I got like a lot of pictures with every ministers that day.
Yeah.
I got one shout out on me on his Instagram, just like
I did see that. Yeah, I saw that.
But yeah, it's any party, big banquet. I think if someone has a story as well, big banquet, fancy, different kinds of food, drinks, and like, you have a chance to take a picture with the Prime Minister if you want to, which I did. And then it was and below it says Office of Prime Minister, which is really, really cool.
That's dope. I do remember what I was going to ask you about protesting. How do you feel in general about the whole idea? Whether it's an idea that you're for or against, how do you feel about protests, whether they're at U of T or just in general? Because personally for me, I have the mindset of I don't try to change the rules of the game, right? Like there are like things in place. I'm not saying they can't be changed. Protests have, if you look in history, there are certain protests that really worked and really made change. Some of them flop and don't do anything. So in general, my approach to life, let me put it this way. Look at a chess player. If you looked at two chess players in the 1950s, one of them got to a roadblock. They're both learning chess. They're both understanding the game, learning how the pieces move. One of them says, shit, I wish that this piece could move there. If the bishop could move straight, I would be a master at chess. If only the bishop could move straight, I would be able to be so good at chess. And he gets stuck. He's like, I need this to change. I need this rule to change. I'm going to wait until the bishop can move straight. I'm just going to chill, because if I can do that, I'll be the best chess player ever. The other guy says, it would be nice if the bishop could move straight, but it can't. So I'm going to have to figure out how to work around that. The rules of chess have not changed since the game was invented. You know what I mean? So if you look at those two players over time, the chess player who understands the rules and doesn't try to change the rules is going to end up being a better chess player in the long term than the guy who keeps trying to change the rules of the game. So if you look at this in life, the way I see it, even if it's something I support, I don't think I would ever show up to a protest just because it seems like a complete waste of time. How do you feel about that?
I feel like, respectfully, I might have to disagree.
Disagree?
Because like...
Let's talk about it.
I feel like, that kind of example can be really well given to a singular person, the personal experience of a singular person.
Okay.
Right? So like individualized. But I think like to get things done, especially in democracy, right? So how our countries, how our system's set up, is pro-protest. It's how things change happen. Let's say, I believe if climate justice U of T never had a protest, when it comes to divesting Vic, divesting St. Mike's, divesting Trin, they would never have divested, because it is a huge money, source of money for different colleges. Yeah. Right. It's still a huge source of money for big banks. Yeah. Right. I feel like that, these protests, right, their importance for the people in the higher ups to understand that as an average person, as a civilian, what we want to see. We want to see things that are being changed. It's hard to reach out, saying like, let's say in U of T, right, it's something you were given. In U of T, we send like a letter to complain to U of T admin. Do they give a fuck? They wouldn't give a fuck. They wouldn't even read it. They wouldn't respond to you. They would throw it away. Yeah. Right? 100%. So the only way to advise or give an opinion, right, to these admins, you said, you have to do it through protest. There's no other way around. Still in union, they wouldn't give a fuck. Yeah. Right? No one give a fuck other than the students who are actually going on the streets shouting or letting them know that we are here doing this stuff and we want to see a real change. And I feel like that's the reason why protest does work, because like again, the example can be given is that Vic will never divest.
Yeah.
Because Vic, like, I think currently have $538 million endowment.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money, I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Right.
For sure. For sure.
For a school, that's crazy.
100%.
Yeah. So like,
I was blown away when I figured that out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like if it's like that, the only way to get things across as a student is through protest, in my opinion.
It's interesting. And it depends, I guess, yeah. You make a good point. It's a good argument. I guess it depends on the kind of protest. Because, like, when I don't know what Climate Justice U of T did, but, like, when people are out here just organizing, we're going to protest from this time to this time, and then whether or not things change, the next day we'll be back at class. Yeah. Like, if you wanted to truly get the point across and be like, we're not showing up to class until this thing is confirmed, that I understand. But, like, just these little, like, marches they do, the marches? Yeah. That stuff, yeah, your voice is getting heard, but they could just ignore you. Like, what incentive does a march give to the people making the decisions to actually make a change, other than it just being like a nag in their ribs?
It could very be like, that's a thing. Like right now, right, there's a lot of press going on. I think the main goal, right, is to shoot 1 million shots and see how many lands.
Got it.
Right, you can't just like shoot one shot and land it specifically. Like, it's not possible. Even if you like protest from class, we're like, nope, no class today. We're not going to class because we're protesting about this. That's one shot. Right? You're not gonna land every single shot. It's not possible. Yeah. So the chance to greater that is to shoot every single shot.
Yeah.
And see how many lands.
That's a good point. I guess U of T didn't want to see this escalate any further.
Exactly. It's bad for reputation because U of T, respectfully, right? U of T cares about its reputation a lot. Yeah. They love to see their ranking on an international stage. Yeah. Right? The best in Canada, one of the best in North America, and the 18th best in the world. Right? They love to see that happen. So, back to the point of shooting shots. Yeah. Ultimately, it will get to a level that it could become a liability to the school. Yeah. Which they will now sit down with us, as students, to chat and say, what do you truly want? What do you want to see us change? Yeah. And that's a good breaking point.
You don't want to be known as a school with the reputation that their students are protesting you all the time, right?
Exactly. No, they don't want that.
That's for sure. How do you feel about corruption in politics?
It's pretty bad.
It's bad.
It's really bad. Especially currently, if you're seeing the third world countries. Yeah. The coup in Myanmar, et cetera. Resistance to those, it's just hard to, because there's no perfect system, right? I personally believe democracy is the best system. Yeah. But no system is perfect, right? So you gotta have the healthy balance, and it's hard to achieve, in very specific countries. Like in America, even, once were called the beacon of freedom, right? Yeah. So they have a lot of corruptions. They have a lot of corruptions, right?
Absolutely.
It's just hard to it's hard to balance things out, especially nowadays where, it gets a bit better because the transparency, within governments. Yeah. They have to sign transparency acts, et cetera. So everything's more transparent now. Yeah. But that doesn't mean that things cannot be done under the table.
That's true. And I also see it as, you're talking about America, I think the more powerful the country, the more the worry of corruption should be. Like, if you're looking at Cuba and calling Cuba corrupt, yeah, sure, but they're a very low scale country at the moment. Mexico as well. I'm half Mexican, but it's not they don't have much consequence. They don't have much power on the global scale in terms of just the current leading countries, right? The US, one of the most powerful countries in the world, that's for sure. You would have to think that with that level of power, corruption would be the most dangerous. So how would you do that? Especially in Canada, we can talk about Canada. I don't know.
I think Canada right now, right, when it comes to different, the biggest struggle right now is actually party struggles.
Party struggles.
Yes.
Explain.
Right now, right, right now we have two major parties in Canada. If you're international students, you can hear this correctly. There's two major parties that's currently beefing each other. It's the Liberals and Conservatives. Yeah. Right. How Canada's set up is that there's 3 levels of government: municipal, provincial, and federal. You can't really break different territories. So federals doesn't have the right to go into provincial politics, and provincials doesn't have the right to go into federal politics. So in general, into that, you gotta see the boundaries between each two, And right now, right, different writings, like, it is turning into a conservative zone. People are like, you can say popularity of Pierre Poliver, the new conservative leader after Andrew Scheer and Aaron O'Toole, going up in popularity. Being a cabinet minister of a former prime minister, Stephen Harper, he already have the reputation that, that behold from, Stephen Harper era. Yeah. And now those two are beefing. See, like, things are getting really heated up in House of Commons, like MPs shouting, like all kinds of different shenanigans. Do House of Commons. It's kind of crazy.
You see the clips of the diss battles that go on between Pierre Poilievre and Justin Trudeau, just like calling each other out on the most random bullshit ever.
Exactly. No, exactly. And then that's the point. Like, I think
it's getting personal.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's too personal at this point. Like, conservatives, right? Let's say, I'm giving an example. Every question period, or called professionally oral question, is a period that opposing parties can question the government, which is currently liberal, right?
Yeah.
What do? As soon as Pierre Poliver stands up, because he'll always be the first guy questioning, the liberals, everyone would be like, stand up and start clapping. Every time. And as soon as like a liberal answers the question, to be like, what is this? Typical liberal. I'm kind of like nonsense yelling. Like, it is hilarious to see, but also so sad to see, because that's crazy, our democracy.
It's so childish.
I know, it's so bad.
I'm surprised that they even allow the commercials that they put on TV. Like they full blatant commercials. Justin Trudeau is a dickhead. Do not vote for him. Like they call them out like there's no other thing in the world, business, government, that I can think of that just blatantly is shitting on the opponent so hard.
I think that, like,
even Coke and Pepsi are somewhat respectful to each other. The liberals and conservatives go on national TV.
Oh my God, dude.
Diss the shit out of each other.
I think right now things are getting a bit too personal, too personal. I'm not gonna comment on like who they are. I think they're both, very interesting individuals. So, as a liberal, I think you can politically see my political interests align with. I generally believe that Liberal Party, with its principle, is, what can do rights for the Canadians. This is why I'm part of a party.
Yeah.
Go do the research before you, watch politics, because you can really get heated with all the ads going on surfacing right now saying that you cannot vote, right? If you're new to voting, of course, if you're first year, going into voting season.
Yeah.
You cannot vote based on a person's surface image.
Yeah.
If you can't just be like, F Trudeau, and you're not gonna vote for Trudeau, because that's not how it's gonna work.
Right.
Look at people's policy, right? Of course, right now it's getting to the season where parties throwing out at each other, right? Let's say conservative be like, Trudeau did this, did that. You gotta make sure you fact check that. Make sure you fact check things, that they speak. Don't blindly believe the things that people throw at you, because oftentimes they're not true.
100%. You need to do your own research always. That's like one of the biggest problems I think in the world right now, is that people believe too much of what they see. Yeah. And on both sides. On both sides,
yeah, it's bullshit.
So yeah, you can't believe everything that you see, and always fact check. And that also goes to like corruption. Like we were talking about corruption. I think corruption is on both sides. Like when I say corruption, I don't think that any particular party is corrupt. I think that any government, the more powerful it becomes, is going to be inclined to overuse that power, right?
Yeah, I would say so, yeah.
So
I tend to think things more of a non-partisan way. Of course, my membership is always going to be liberal, no matter what, because I do believe in liberal, and I'm loyal to liberals. Yeah. Right? But like when you think like things more non-partisanly, sometimes you can find things, you can understand both sides and see both way where they come from, right? Yeah. Because I believe that no matter how much things you throw each other, I generally believe that, no matter you're a Liberal Party, NDP, Conservatives, or Green Party, ultimately, like, I think the main principle is always going to do good things for the Canadians. Just the way they do it is different. Right.
One more question I'll ask you about politics, and we'll move on to something else. The Liberals have the NDPs on their side, kind of.
Yeah.
Like the NDPs have the Liberals back.
The Lions, yeah.
Who do the Conservatives have? Anybody, or are they on their own? Is it like a conservative versus all type of thing? Because even the Green Party is closer to liberal than conservative.
100%. Yeah. But always remember this. Conservatives have a lot of MPs, right? They have a lot of seats right now. And don't forget one thing that can always come in and be super annoying. Block by quads.
Oh, yeah. The cameras keep cutting out just to The audience doesn't get all weirded out by all the cuts. But it's fine. It is what it is. Let's talk about first year.
Oh, yeah.
First year, Glen Hung. This guy came in. He was loud.
I was loud.
He rolled in confident. The most recognized name, I'd say, in the first week. My first question.
Okay.
Do you have a clone? Is there multiple Glen Hungs? How are you everywhere at one time?
Oh, good question, man. I tend to be like, looking at stuff on Instagram, be like, you know what? Today is an event. It's a good time to go to sociologist and student union events. Pub nights, woo, free food. That's what I do here, right? Like, I'm paying for tuition for a reason. I'm not gonna it's just $100 for this course union. It's our money now. We're not gonna get it back.
Yeah.
Fuck that. I need my money back, right? Like, dude, come on.
Participating in everything.
Exactly. Listen, free stuff. I got like 4 Roman backpacks now. Like,
I saw you were the captain of. What were you the captain of? You're captaining a team this year.
No one.
Yeah.
Oh, this year, yes.
This year.
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball.
Yes.
Dodgeball captain Glen Hung.
Exactly. But I got a captain T-shirt from like 2021.
Nice.
I don't know how I got it, but I got it. So like,
that's awesome.
Exactly.
So, okay, no, but tell me, where'd you go to high school?
It's a school called York West Collegiate.
Okay.
In North York.
In North York. So you graduate from North York, grade 12 Glen Hung. You spend 2 months of summer chilling. I bet actually you spent 2 months of summer planning, getting ready for university.
The plot.
What was your approach? Because I feel like it was definitely on purpose. I don't think anyone just comes here and gets to know almost everybody in the first 2 weeks, not on purpose. You don't do that by accident.
Do you want honest truth?
You wanted to get voted for Arts Sci Council. Is that what it was?
No.
What's the honest truth?
I'm generally always being the most social type personality out there. I think that back in high school, right, the quarantine got me wild, and you were just gotta sitting in one room all day long, playing Minecraft and Spotify, I don't know,
Yeah.
It was quite bizarre, right? So now moving on, grade 12 is also kind of at that point, it's hard to break into friend group, especially in grade 12, because things are already set it up. So so people hang out with certain group of people. It's hard to go through different ones. It's hard to be friends with everybody.
Yeah.
Right. So I would say I'm a late grower. So basically mentally I was a very very I'm very much of a kid back in grade 9, grade 10, grade 11. Right. I did a lot of stupid stuff. I feel like that kind of I matured a lot.
Yeah.
Right. Especially when I hit first year, I matured a lot.
Yeah.
And then on that point on, I figured out that, let me figure something out, right? Let me just I'm never going to live back to become a first year, freshman, 18-year-old, right? Just turn 18, come into university, right? Live in residence.
Yeah.
I'm never going to be that guy again. Why don't I give, experience everything?
Yeah, live it up.
Yeah, live it up. Because in the future, I'll be every time my grandkids be you know what, university is the best time of your life, etc. I can finally say that's true.
Yeah.
But that's what I did. And I figured out that how things set up at UFT is kind of stupid, right? The orientations, right? They don't have collaborations with any other colleges. So now, if you attended the orientation already, a bunch of first years did, right? If you're first year, or now second year, third year, fourth year, which you already also attended orientation inside, you can see how the college is very to itself. Right, and same to other colleges as well. Very to itself, you never get to see what other colleges like during orientation week.
Yeah.
So I want to change that, of course. College system is interesting. I don't think there's any other universities in Canada that's it. College
that has that system. You might, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. So it's a very interesting system, right? That for Oxford, I believe. So this is why I was to go explore.
Yeah.
I stuck into Wordsworth, I stuck into St. Max, I stuck into Trinity, I stuck into engineering as well. Actually, I've engineering helmet in my room right now, engineering hard hat, from orientations.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just exploring it, make all the friends on the way, but also you can see what's like.
That's awesome.
Understand what's like, and actually that's what I ran my first campaign upon.
Yeah. 100%.
Is to have these events to break through the colleges and make campus more social.
I saw that. Vote Glen. It was at King Circle, the video.
Yeah.
Circling around. I don't know if I posted it on my story. I definitely followed the account. That's for sure.
For sure, yeah.
Are you doing anything this year? Are you running for anything this year?
I feel like this year, honestly, this also goes to every single student as well. Is that I did too much as a first year. I was here, there, and there, right? Yeah. Too thin. No person is possible to manage all those stuff. I have so many extracurriculars, research papers.
Yeah.
Sorry,
I'll just interrupt you. Sorry, I want to ask you actually something. What do you say about the statement that someone who has a lot of friends probably has none at all? What do you think about that? Like, you know a lot of people.
I do.
You know a lot of people. A lot of people know you. What do you have, like a close group? Do you have like a tight knit group that you hang out with more than like the rest?
Oh, 100%. And it's my friend Alexander Kildorf, Daniel Du, Daniel
Du, yeah. Shout out to Daniel Du.
Sarp Ageman.
Yeah.
Funny name.
Sarp, yeah. Shout out Sarp.
Exactly, Sarp, a real one for that. I got a friend Daphne, Shannon, Regina.
Real one for your name. Yeah, Sarp, real one for the name.
Just showing all the homies from the trenches, I'm saying, like, put together and everything. But you have to have a good friend group.
Yeah.
You have to have a friend group that you can, like, hang out with all the time. And, like, I kind of got that beginning of the year, so, like, but which I I still, of course, that's being through some stuff first, is that you cannot spend too thin. In the first year, you're going to be a lot of friends. A lot of friends wanting to make friends with you. A lot of friends are wanting to be like, going out together or get some food, some drinks together, right?
Yeah.
Hang out with each other. You got to find the one friend group that you can always be part of. You can be social. You can be going to these clubs, join these events, right? But you got to have that one close friend group. If not, ultimately what will happen is that in the end of the day, exactly what you said, the man with every friends have no friends.
Yeah, 100%. And how did you get close to those guys? Residents?
Oh, residents, yeah, exactly. Yeah, residents, it's pretty easy.
People you live with.
Exactly, I live with them. Like,
100%.
Exactly. Like, you see me always in pajamas. Yeah. You see me always in pajamas looking first year, yeah?
Always. Rolling through, just in the elevator. This is Glenn. Doors open. Nobody's here. Closest. Next floor. Scanning the residents.
Oh, it was pretty fun though. It was pretty fun. And that experience, I'll never live it ever again. So I enjoy every moment of it.
100%.
Yeah.
You don't regret the time you were too social. You regret the time that you weren't social enough.
Exactly.
So I don't think you'll have any regrets about that, which is cool.
And honestly, that's the reason why people think I'm in ramen, because of that.
Yeah, right.
You thought I was in ramen because
I
of that.
thought he was in ramen. On the Daniel Du episode, I was like, yeah, Glenn, blah, 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 talking about ramen. And Daniel's like, nah, no, he's not ramen. What? Why? How? You have the ramen personality, though, that's for sure.
That's true.
What is your best advice for first years coming in now? First of all, do you know any first years? Like, have you met first years?
Oh, yeah, definitely do, yeah.
Yeah?
In residence, from friends to clubs, etc. Getting involved.
That's good. And it's just the first few weeks in, so that's good. You'll meet more.
Like, you'll definitely meet more, yeah. Like,
so what would you tell them as someone who I'd say had a pretty successful first year?
Is to definitely, because UFT, right? How it's structured is that you will never get to places without trying to get to places. It's structured to make sure you go to different events, because that's how you get opportunities. UFT doesn't give you opportunities. It offers it in different clubs and events, but you have to go and get it. You gotta find it yourself. Let's say last year, for example, I had a thing called Alumni Student Dinner by Hard House. You invite politicians, successful artists, etc., and then people couldn't be there are students and mostly alumni. Right, I actually made a few good connections there. While I was attending, I don't like call it connection because that's superficial, but friends, right? I have a few lawyers who actually offered me internship.
Yeah.
In a law firm, but
nice.
It's how you meet alumni. It's how you meet different people who are successful in their fields, and that's not like advertise on any level on social media whatsoever. You gotta go and find it yourself, which is gonna be pretty hard for you. But those are the opportunities that are out there. They are, you can make great connections, great friends, maybe get a stomach focus, get some food.
Yeah.
But overall, they offer you in a way that you got to do it yourself, because they don't give you everything. They don't feed you, right, plates of food. You got to go find the restaurant.
That's awesome. That's good. That's good advice. I'll ask you for another piece of advice. You're an extroverted guy. A lot of introverts at U of T, that's for sure.
For sure, yeah.
A lot of shy people. What would be your number one tip for being more extroverted?
I feel like you can't just be turned into more social just right away, right?
Yeah.
This is a curve of doing so, and especially
practice.
Practice is the first thing, but remember, never change yourself to be someone who you wish to be, because ultimately that person's not who you are. Maybe you don't have it right now, but in 1 year or 2 years, even a few months, your personality will get back to you, right? You'll be in a conflict of like your personal struggle.
Yeah.
Never be someone you're not supposed to, right?
That's good.
Always, like changing, I believe that definitely could happen in a person.
I was going to say, yeah, how do you balance like people saying, I want to be myself, I don't want to be fake, but then like you can also improve yourself and be real. Like you don't need to, like improving yourself isn't faking, you know what I mean? Yeah. So like what do you say about that? Like someone who's trying to, maybe the way they are, they don't like, they want to be better. There's certain traits they want to improve, so they kind of have to fake to improve themselves.
I think that's the mentality of faking till you make it means, right? That's the
fake it
correct
till you make
mentality
it, right?
for that. I think that like definitely works, but listen to me. I feel like most importantly, it would definitely get back to you. The person, the image, the mask you put on, throughout time it fades.
Yeah.
It's not gonna stay there forever, right? Eventually it's gonna slide down. We're gonna put it down.
Yeah.
One way or another. And at that point, when you're made to your friends at the time saying that, oh, this is who I truly am.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a more bizarre. So I think that like to do this, to truly change, is to break through the barriers that you wouldn't do it before. Let's say I'm more introverted, right? To myself, I want to meet people. I'm going to events, right? Start with clubs. Clubs is a great way for you to go and meet people because people in clubs are more sociable, right? They're more approachable.
Yeah.
Go talk to them, right? Events, let's say, policy associations sometimes host pub nights.
Yeah.
If your pol students who are more introverted, go to them, right? Go meet with them, see what they're like.
100%.
Right? Meet friends on the way, and they can practice you how you can speak, the way you portray yourself to the others, and in general, improve your communication skill, and overall, make yourself more sociable. Yeah. Right? And then you can't just improve it right away. You can be like, today I'm being extroverted. Today I'm going to go social. That's not going to work.
100%. And a good tip that I usually give is being extroverted is just saying hi.
Yeah.
So the biggest leap, I think the biggest block that introverts have is not even taking the step to go introduce themselves or just to start a conversation. That's where they get blocked. If the only thing you worry about is just saying hi, then you're in the conversation now. You're going to have to force something. You'll figure it out. You know what I mean? I think the biggest problem is that they just don't go and initiate ever, which is really the only blockade. If you can go say hi to someone, then they say hi back. You're in a conversation. Things will go from there. You'll figure it out. You'll know what to say. I had the same problem with, I asked a girl out in first year, and I was going to go up to knock on her door, and I was thinking, the only thing that's in my way is knocking on that door. If I knock on that door, then she's going to come answer. I'm going to have to figure something out, right? So the main blockade is just starting it. Forcing yourself in the situation, then you're fine. Long story short, flopped with the girl. Didn't work out, but you knock on the door, you figure it out from there. So it's interesting. Yeah, you just need to take that leap. And that's, I think, something that a lot of introverts don't think about.
If you actually know a few introverts people, like, I know a lot of them, like, I know all kinds, like, relate to, like, personality wise. And then, like, most of the times, like, more introvert people are actually very, very interesting.
Yeah.
They give ideas that are, like, just, like, so, like, enlightening as well as it's just, like, but the hard part is always going to be starting the convo.
100%.
If you start a convo with them, it's going to be the most, like, like, they can give you solid ideas. They can give you, like, a really smooth experience, right? Like, go talk to them, etc.
Yeah.
Make good friends with them as well. But, the hard part is always going to be, how can I break in? How can I come in? For example, Carter, do you remember how we met?
Bro, it must have been, I swear it was this elevator thing. Yo, what's up? My name's Glenn. And I was like, yo, what's up? What's going on? No, was it not in residence?
No, it's not. Because I remember you, Krishna.
Yeah.
And Griffin, I think.
Yeah.
Y'all were, like, chilling in McDonald's.
Oh.
So I one time was like, those guys seems familiar. Let me go chat with them.
Yeah.
So one or two of them started breaking in. And that's how we became friends. And now I'm honored to sit here in the seats of VoV. Right?
Yeah, VoV, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, like,
I will say you're the only guy that calls it VoV, but it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Might need to change it to the VoV podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, now it's a good example of how, like, most of the times, like, it's always going to be breaking into the convo. That's the most important part. And after that, you're all good.
That's awesome. Are you going to run for prime minister one day?
No.
Why?
I think that like
What's the end goal? What's the end goal?
for me is that I don't even think I'm gonna run for office.
Okay.
I think what we'll do is like nonprofits, because I think that like right now I'm getting the experience working for governments to understand how the public sector works, right? I want to see how like how to be in this field so I can understand, because you can't just understand that based on like some research on the internet. Be like, what's it like to be working for an MP, right? It's not gonna like show you right away.
Yeah.
Why I want to do nonprofits? Because I figure that it can most of the times do great things for people on the land scale.
Yeah.
So let's say different UN organizations which could go and help people, right? Whether it's like World Hunger, etc.
Yeah.
Like I wished I was a person going in and to like take charge, transportations, everything, and get things distributed.
So you'd want to work somewhere else in the world. You wouldn't want to stay in Canada?
It might depends on like my job circumstances, because Canada right now, there's still some stuff to fix.
Yeah.
Right. There's a lot of stuff to fix. Depends on my occupations, but right now, right, my main goal is to get experience I need in pop sector for me to transition myself into the atmosphere of nonprofits.
Yeah.
Right. I think because most of the times, they do good jobs, and then they go like unnoticed as well. Many times the stuff you see in UN, the more they actually things more done within nonprofits that you can expect.
Would you want to work for a nonprofit, or would you want to start one yourself?
I want to work for one first to get experience what it's like first.
Yeah.
If I think that there's a certain fields that I can be really helpful on or passionate at, I'm gonna start mine, right? You can get some few friends together who have the same passion, want to do good and help people. Get started, and maybe one day can go big. We never know, right?
That'd be
but
cool.
now, exactly, and definitely right now my main goal is to learn what's going on in the pub sector, nonprofits first, and see how my life takes me.
Very cool. Second year, are we seeing a new version of Glen, or what's the approach this year?
It's just a good old Glen, man. If you see me, definitely come say hi to me. I'm really approachable. But for me this year, so I feel like I'm definitely more composed now. First year I had too much first year energies. Yeah. I was around all over places. I figured that's like.
Did you go to a lot of parties?
Yeah. Definitely did.
Nice.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, but you can definitely see more composed.
Yeah.
Focusing more personal stuff now, especially figure out that doing all kinds of stuff. Maybe you can get to what experience, but ultimately, finding your true passion. Because right now I explored, right? I'm already after the exploration phase, and now I'm focusing on stuff I'm interested in. So this is what I'm doing right now. I'm focusing myself more composed. I would say much more composed.
Yeah.
But similar Glen never changed. And
never change.
The OG Hung.
OG Hung, yeah.
Yes, sir.
That's awesome.
Definitely some hello. And of course, any questions in the politics or want to get involved in politics, shoot me a message, Instagram, whatever. Let me know. And
It's awesome, man. Thank you for coming on. Do you have any final thoughts for the podcast here, for the U of T people?
Man, this is the best podcast I've ever seen in my entire life, man. Like, if you're not like sharing this podcast with social media, come on, man. Like, I don't know what to think of you, man. Come on, let's be real here. This is honestly the most truthful podcast you can ever get within any university. It's Mr. Carter Ponce himself, right? Giving the most truthful, most realist words you can ever hear in your entire life. So go ahead, go subscribe, go follow.
Appreciate
and
it,
leave
bro.
a like.
Appreciate it, bro.
Yes, sir.
Thank you for coming on.
Thank you so much.
Everybody, thank you for watching. That's VoV episode 20, Glen Hung. Go check him out on Instagram. Check him out. I'm sure if you're walking on your way to class, he'll pop up in your face somewhere. For sure.
I'll be there.
Yeah.
All right.
Thank you for watching. Follow Instagram @VoicesOfVic, TikTok @VoicesOfVic. Subscribe to the channel, like the video, and we will see you next week. Peace out.